Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a layout that follows the sketch from April, one of the April virtual crop sketches. I believe it's number 3. It's a 2-page sketch that we're using as a 2-page sketch, and following some of the photographs that are kind of winding up our Disney trip. So I hope this is a layout that you can use in your own albums. But just as a quick side note, I hope that you all have remembered and are commenting on my videos, because we're going to have a drawing as soon as we reach our milestones. So when we get to the milestones that are shown, that I outline in the video description, we're going to do a drawing, and in order to get into the drawing, you have to have commented from May 1st on. So any comments that are contributed from May 1st on, we will do a drawing when we reach those subscription numbers or subscriber numbers for free Creative Memories product. So I'm excited, and I want you to make as many comments as you possibly can. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so here's my workspace for today, and I am going to be doing today the, as I mentioned before, the virtual crop sketch from April. That is sketch number 3. And so since we just had our quick little lesson on making perfect circles in 101.5 and our scrapbooking 101.5 on Monday, I thought it would be fun to do this sketch number 3 from the virtual sketches in April, because it has all these wonderful circles. I pulled some holiday papers out of my stash, and I pulled the 3 sizes of circles that match the measurements that were given on our sketch. And these don't match exactly, but they are the closest that I could find. If you want to use exactly 5.5, 6.5, and 5-inch circles, then I would highly recommend you use the circle maker. That one will get you closer to exactly what you're looking for. These are, and when I say these are pretty close, I mean they are pretty close. So this one, if you'll notice, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and probably 3/8 of an inch, or maybe slightly more than 3/8 of an inch. So that's what I mean. They err on the side of just slightly less than, but almost exactly what these circles measure here. Okay, so I'm going to use these since we just had our lesson on that. I've pulled my largest circle of the 3 circle team, and the medium circle, and my blue and red blade. Those are the blades that we are going to use today to make these 3 different sized circles. This one is 6.5, this one is 5.5, and this one is 5. All right, and so those are the 3 measurements of circles that you will need for this layout. Now, you'll notice you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 circles, but this one up here, I feel fairly certain is the cutoff of this one over here. So, or if it's not meant to be that way, that's okay. I'm going to make it that way in my layout, so so that I don't have to cut another circle. So we're going to work on that. Let me go ahead and just take our, I also have a piece of dark green cardstock, which we're going to use to mat a couple of our photos. So I'm going to move my pages out of the way and go ahead and we'll get these circles taken care of. I also have permanent and repositionable adhesive, as always. We'll set that there and work over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to set my cardstock off to the side also. We'll get to that one in a minute. And we're going to work from the top down. So I'm going to cut this largest circle, which is the 6.5 inch circle. And you can see I marked my template that I made for myself so that I know I need the blue blade and the largest circle on the outside edge. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my largest circle, my blue blade, flip this around. Now, I tried earlier to determine whether I could get 2 circles out of this scrap piece of paper that I have. This paper is 8 by 12 and it's not, I didn't feel confident that I could do it. So I'm going to cut a large 6.5 inch circle from this. Tore a little bit on the edge there. I'll have to get my scissors out and fix that. Sometimes when you get your paper too close to the edge, it will do that. It'll just cause a little bit of heartache there on the edge. Alright, so I have this much left, and I could conceivably go ahead and cut another one, maybe one of the smaller versions. So let's see, how about if we try, I think that one's going to be too big still, but we could cut one of these from the rest of this paper. And I'm going to move it over here to this side as well. Notice that this is with the red blade and the medium circle on the outside edge, so I'm just going to switch to my red blade. When you're not using them, always make sure your blade is up in the air, which may seem not very safe. But if you know you're coming back to it in just a moment or two, I think it's probably fine. But don't put it down like this, put it up like this so that your blade doesn't get dulled from hitting things. At least that's what I always try to do. I'm not perfect at it, but I try to keep my blades going up if I am not closing them up right away. And then you just know to be careful. All right. That saves us just a little bit of paper, which we might use another time. And now I can use either side of that circle. We need 2 of each kind of these circles, so I need another one of this smaller one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out of this green paper. I love how fast this is. I also love how accurate it is and how it makes just perfect circles. It's just lovely how it does that. Okay, we're going to make some of this medium-sized circle now, and you can see that that one is with the blue blade. I'm done with my red blade because I have my 2 smaller circles, and both of the 2 larger circles require the blue blade. So I closed that up. We want the blue blade, the medium circle, and the outside edge for this medium circle. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 of these out of the same paper, because the designer paper, with it being, let's see, mine just decided it wanted to tear again. Drat. That's okay. We'll put that underneath the photo. No one will know, right? Except you guys. Looks like I cut it a little close to the edge. Still looks good though, other than that notch. We'll fix that though. As I was saying, because this is double-sided paper, we can utilize the fact that it is that we can have a different design on the back, so that gives us a little more variety. Even though we're cutting the same size circles, we can make them the same or we can make them different, whatever works. And in this instance, I'm going to use that side because I need one of those to be a journal box, a journaling area. So we're going to do one more of the big circle. That's the only one we don't have two of. And again, that's the largest circle on the outside edge. So we're going to just do one more. There we go. And since I'm done with the circles, I'm going to go ahead and close that up. Okay, so these are done. We'll set those aside. This is done. We'll set that aside. Now we do need some mats for our photos that are on the outside, these two right here. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to gather these together and by size so that we know at a glance which ones are which. Let's do like this, smallest to biggest. All right. There we go. Now, sorry that some of that is in shadow right there. I'm going to grab my trimmer and we will go ahead and just cut a couple of mats for some photos. And since all of these photos are 6x4 or 4x6, we know we can do a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, or we can do a 4 1/2 by 6 1/2 mat, and all will be well. They have on here that they're recommending that you do a 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, so I'll go ahead and do that just so that everything lines up better. The thing about doing a 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, or even a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, is this is a 12-inch square piece of paper, right? So when it's 12 by 12, you want to do 6 by 6 in order to try to conserve your paper. But when you make a 6 1/2, then you end up with a 5 1/2 by 4 1/2 inch piece. So it's up to you. You know, whatever photos you have that you need to use, you should go ahead and mat the outside ones. And if you want to mat more than that, be my guest. It's your layout. You can do that. Okay, so we've got I'm going to just lay this over the top of those circles. I'm going to go ahead and adhere the photos that are going to be matted so that they are good to go. And that will all work very easy. I don't know if any of you have been to Disneyland, or I'm assuming it's the same at Disney World in the recent period of time, but they make these amazing Mickey-shaped caramel apples that are covered with all kinds of yumminess. And as we were leaving the park that last night, we'd been talking the whole time because we'd walked by the bakery every day that made these. we'd been saying the whole time how much we thought that they looked so yummy and we wish that we could have some. And lo and behold, 3 different people in our family of 6 purchased an apple. Notice how much they cost. I was not really inclined to go and buy any. I just thought they looked yummy. And then we ended up with 3 of them, which was exciting and fun. But really expensive. But they were very tasty, and we ate them on our drive home the next day. So that was fun. These photos over here are taken from the hotel that we were in, because we were in the Disneyland hotel, not the California Adventure, but the what was the older hotel that they actually redid. And Pooh Bear is a new addition to the family in this photo, and so he's meeting my daughter's rabbit that she's had since she was tiny, and she did so well. She has some anxiety issues, as a lot of kids her age do, and this Pooh Bear is weighted, so it's really heavy, or fairly heavy, and so very very good at anchoring you when you feel like you are coming to pieces. So we got him as a cuddle, as a thing for her to snuggle with. This is a picture of Walt Disney coming out of what will be Cinderella's castle while it's still under construction. And this is up in one of the hotels, and I just thought it was appropriate to put a picture of that in here. And at any rate, and then this is Main Street, which you've already seen because we did that last time. But let's go ahead and get these circles where they need to go, okay? So we've got a 6.5-inch circle, and I'm thinking we'll probably use this one. That's gonna go here. We've got this one that I need to be able to journal on, so this one's gonna go under here. Then we've got a 5-inch circle, which, since our 2 5-inch circles are similar, I'm going to go ahead and pull that one. Then we've got another 6.5-inch circle. This one's going to overlap and be under those 2 photos. A 5.5-inch circle will be up here underneath that one, and another 5-inch circle will be under here. Okay, so that's 2 green ones. Maybe what we'll do is put this green one, nope, that's the 5-inch. Here, let's do that. We'll flip that over and make it the Christmas trees. How's that? Do I like the balance of that? This blue one is going to be over here if we do it that way. I think that will be okay. But then we don't have the green one anywhere. Did I only cut one from the green? I guess I did only cut one from the green. Well, I think that'll be all right. We have a little more green in the mats, so I think that'll be all right. All right, let's go ahead and adhere a couple of these. So I'm going to, normally what I would do if I had a base page that I was working on instead of the black background like I have right now, I would normally go ahead and adhere this to both pages and then cut down the middle of the 2 pages. But because I'm not working on it that way, I can just go ahead and grab my trimmer and cut this at whatever angle I want. So I'm going to go about 2/3. I'm going to put this at the 2.5-inch mark, the edge of my circle. So the base is hitting the shoulder at the bottom, this left hand side is hitting the 2.5 inch mark, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. I think actually maybe we'll go out to the 2 3/4 inch. Yeah, let's do that. 2 3/4 inch. So 2 3/4 inch out here. Won't make a huge difference, but it may make a little difference. Okay, so there's our 2 cut pieces. We'll trim the bottom off when we get that far, but that's where we're going to start with that. This circle over here looks like it is roughly 3 3/4, maybe 4 inches. So the remainder of that would be what we will want over here. So I'm just going to make this as straight as possible, or we could make it as lopsided as we want, but I think maybe making it lopsided is better. I'm going to make that boo-boo area a little bit high. That way I can cover it up. Okay, so we're going with 4 inches on this side and cutting off the remainder. That will go there. This piece will go over here. All right, let's go ahead and get some of this assembled. I'm going to start with this center circle, and I'm going to go ahead and typically when I put a circle down, I use my repositionable adhesive, but this one I don't foresee needing to come off, so I'm going to put it right up against the edge of the jeeping of my page, right there. And then we're going to do the same thing with the one on this side. So I'm going to put my pages together as evenly as I can. There we go. That way I can make a better judgment call about keeping those at the same height all the way around. There we go. Okay, and like I said, we'll trim off that bottom bit when we get that far. This one up here, let's just use repositionable. I think that will make me less stressed. Okay, so this one's not going to go off the edge. It's actually going to go about 1/2 inch down from the top, but right along the outer jeeping. Okay, I didn't trim this edge, but that's because a photo is going to go right over the top of it, so I'm just sort of smoothing it out with my fingernail. No one's going to even know it's there other than you and I, because I made this video and showed you. See, that's going to cover it right up. Okay, now this one, looks like it's got, we can see it from the top and from the bottom, a little more from the top than on the bottom, and it looks like the photo is just centered on it. So I'm gonna just add some repositionable adhesive and stick that photo down. So it doesn't move. And then we can add and I'm using repositionable on the circle itself just because I want to be able to move it a little easier if I should need to move it. I think that will work right there. Then this one, well, this one I'm just not going to push down this corner right here until I get that circle put where I want it to be. This actually is a kind of a difficult layout to explain as you're doing it, because a lot of this is very, very visual. See, this one is a little off center, so I'm just going to pop that off. The photo pops off all right as long as it hasn't been on there too long. And the paper pops off much better as long as you use repositional adhesive on it. So then this one will go right underneath. Alright, we still need to get this circle where it needs to be, so let's get these Christmas trees put in here. This circle, they have a little bit to the right of the divider, about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. So that's what we're going with there. We can push down that adhesive, get our paper pushed down, and then come back in here and just add a little bit of adhesive underneath that picture to anchor it. Okay, so there we've got that. Let's grab scissors and trim off this edge. There we go. All right, now let's do the right hand side. Okay, this piece, let's anchor this piece down. And I'm going to use repositional on this one too, because I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to want it. You can see that it's missing a good section up there, so it's going to go across along the outside jeeping and way off the edge at the top. So that's why I didn't add any adhesive up here on this edge, because it's just going to get cut off. All right, and then this circle right here, we'll just use repositionable for that too. This circle is going to go about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch from the top edge of our page, and a couple of inches in from the center. So that's where I'm going to put it for right now, and we'll see if we need to move it at all. That looks like actually it'll be pretty good. Okay, I'm going to line up these pages and line this photo up so that it's the same, it's in the same place as the photos on this edge. So I'm going to go about 1 inch in so that I almost can't see the circle, the edge of the circle over here on the side. And I need to pull that down just a skosh. Okay, come on. My adhesive keeps grabbing onto my paper because it wants to be there. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Okay, and then this one and this one. So this one, you can see in the sample, crosses over the corner. Maybe just goes a little bit down. Alright, we're going to go with that. And we need to get this picture down. I was actually looking at this corner and where that was located, and looking at the corner of this photo and where it will be placed to make that determination of where it ought to go based on the sketch that I'm looking at here. Which, you know, it probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things if that's exact or not. Probably doesn't make any difference at all. All right, so we're going to put this one up here, about 5/8 of an inch from the top. 5/8 of an inch from the outside edge as well. Now we need to trim the circles. There's one. And I don't know what that white thing is it's showing, so let's get rid of that. We'll trim this one. This circle down here needs to be a little bit wider, as I was mentioning earlier, so that you can do journaling in this. So, it's recommended that you do something tone on tone, or something that has a white background with minimal colors. You can see here how they intend for the journaling to go there. They also intend for a title to go right here. And since I have these new stickers, sticker ABCs, let's see if we can find one that we could do a title with real quick. We could do silver, we could do black. Be nice if I had some red, but I don't have red. I do have white though. We could do white. Let's do white. I think that would be nice. Alright, so these are the white classy mini ABC stickers. And they are tiny. So any of you that are from our old school creative memories and remember how we used to run out of vowels and run out of significant consonants and things like that, these sets of letters are really rather unbelievable, but they are very cool because you get a multitude of vowels and consonants. So, what do we want to call this page? Treats. Let's see. Magic Kingdom treats. It seems like a lot, but we could do it. Alright, so I'm going to use my multi-purpose tool because sometimes my nails get in the way when it comes to trying to place down tiny little letters. Oh, we probably ought to take a look at embellishing too. So before I do that, let me grab, I made some embellishment clusters beforehand, so that, because I don't have, I'm using it kind of, I'm using papers from the most recent holiday collection, but I'm using embellishments that match but are from an older collection. So I have All Is Calm, All Is Bright, Season of Joy, because it's blue and it will match all of our goodies. And then I have Noel with the dots. So we could put, I'm just going to set this to the side for a second while we decide this. Our pattern recommends that we have an embellishment cluster here and another embellishment cluster here. So I'm not sure I want to put the Noel there. I think it will get lost on this, which means that I will need to put our All Is Calm, All Is Bright, Season of Joy there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down. I popped these stars up with some foam squares so they sit up a little bit off of the sticker. This one's going to say Noel and have some candy canes, and we'll just stick that right here. Now, with that in mind, the title that we are going to add next to it here may need to say something different. Let's see. Well, we could still have it say Magic Kingdom Treats, I think. So part of the challenge that I have, and I don't know if you have this same challenge, but part of the challenge I have is centering things. So sometimes it's helpful, I have found, if you write down what you want, what you're trying to spell, right? And then you can kind of go from there. So Magic Kingdom Treats is the title that I want to put on this. And I'm going to spell it backwards to some extent, if I can get the S off the page. Come on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add, that's not the right one. I want an O. You guys know that I don't usually add a title while the video is rolling, so this is an unusual situation. I just thought it might be a fun thing to try. Typically, I cut my titles on my Cricut machine. Then I know that they're nice and straight and spaced like I want them to be and all of that kind of stuff. But stickers are sometimes fun to do, and I think varying up what you do in your albums is a good thing. So this is going to take me a minute here. I'm sure my editor will speed things up for you. All right, so that is about all we need to do for that one. Let me just check and see if you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So, what do you think? I think these circles are cute, but I think I would actually have liked to maybe double mat them and give them some kind of definition around the outside, especially since I used plaid. So were I to do this again using these same papers, I would probably go ahead and double mat them, or mat the circles so that there is a frame edge that goes around the outer edge of the paper. But otherwise, I think it's a cute layout for circles, and it would lend itself well to making these circles into ornaments using the Christmas paper. So that might be a fun layout to tuck away and possibly use in our 12 days of layouts at Christmas. We'll see if this pops up again at Christmas time, because I think that might be fun. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I hope this has been helpful, inspiring for you, and I hope that it's something that you could use in your own albums. I hope that you have fun making circles on your pages from now on, and until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great rest of your day.